Tom and Gerry Show is sponsored by findavenue.ie.
For over 10 years, findavenue.ie has been working in the Dublin area, helping thousands of companies with all their venue needs. From corporate parties to away days, training seminars, conferences, summer barbecues to Christmas parties. The lot.
As a pair of comedians who know what it's like when the wrong venue gets booked for the wrong occasion, we can assure you that findavenue.ie is the go-to service when you're looking for a venue for your upcoming event. Simply contact them at findavenue.ie and they'll do the rest, saving you precious time and hassle.
Best of all, findavenue.ie is absolutely free to use.
Get out of here.
I'm telling you now, with findavenue.ie, free means free. No hidden costs or sneaky charges, all backed up with an incredible team offering you great customer service throughout the whole process. If you need a venue for anything from corporate day out to a quiz night, a gala dinner, or even a virtual event, findavenue.ie is your one-stop shop for all.
Head over to findavenue.ie to see how they can help you with your next event.
Thanks again to this week's sponsor for the Tom and Gerry Show, findavenue.ie.
Buzz, 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 buzz. Tom, do you hear that buzz?
Do we need some of those citronella candles? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying it's citronella candles, but first and foremost, welcome everybody to the Tom and Gerry Show podcast. My name is Gerry McBride. He's Tom O'Mahony. And if you do hear a buzzing there, Tom, like the buzz you heard at the start, that's the drone.
The drone?
That's the drone, buddy. The drone is outside my window right now. It's not delivering to my house. It's delivering to a house up the block, but it is in the vicinity here.
Fuck, no way. What?
Yeah. Oh, welcome to the future. Welcome to the show, everybody, but welcome to the future. There are drone deliveries delivering to Blanchardstown now as a matter of fact, as a matter of no big deal.
What kind of Judge Dredd fucking utopia / fucking, what's the shit version of a utopia?
Dystopia.
What? I don't agree with this at all.
Well, you know what I'm going to tell you, Tom? There's pros and cons. We won't have a row about it because we don't row on this podcast, as people would listen to.
Of course.
God, we could have probably saved this for a row. We're just giving stuff away here, Tom. Yeah, no, it'll deliver up our way, and it was a novelty at start. And now it's just a matter of course that if you want a burrito or a McDonald's, I don't know. Actually, sorry, I beg your pardon. I don't think McDonald's are delivering from it. But this drone, which is about the size of like a Flymo.
Yeah.
And not for nothing sounds like it as well, because it's a fine summer evening out here. So if you think you're hearing bzzz, like it's someone mowing their lawn, that's what it sounds like.
All right, Jesus.
And it'll fly from McDonald's. I keep saying McDonald's. Okay, it'll fly from Boojum or it'll fly from wherever, and it will come up and it'll hover above your house, and it will drop your package of food down to you on about 40 foot of cord, and then it snips the cord upstairs, so the cord falls down as well.
Oh, so you get a bit of
delivery.
And a bit of cord.
40 foot of string, yeah. 40 foot of good jute string. And
so are you bullshit? Because I mean, a lot of people would go, is Gerry just playing with sex toys or something in the background if the buzzing starts going off and now he's covering it with some fucking
not this
otherworldly bullshit like about a drone.
Not this exact time.
I thought they were trialing this thing.
They trialed it and it was a success, and now they're just doing it.
To what end? To what hour of the night are these yokes going?
Very good question. I don't think I've, although
because
I can double check, but I don't believe I've seen one past 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, maybe. And it's eerie, like it'll fly directly to your house in a straight line, and it obeys some sort of flight path. Like it'll fly and then turn.
I hope it's programmed in, and not some 16-year-old PlayStation whiz is over in Boojum going 32 Roxborough Road. Is it? Here we go. You know. And next thing
not my address, by the way, gang,
he starts on Tinder or something, and all of a sudden before you know it, there's burrito being fired all up. What?
Yeah.
This I'm troubled by this. I'm
number one. I feel like I want to say that's not my address. That's just a made up address, just in case anybody goes to it to have
I think
it
that's somewhere in Limerick.
Something that I said to them, some punk that I roughed up way back.
Well,
we don't want to dox some strange lad in
some
Limerick,
punk
right?
that I roughed up way back. Listen to 3-pack over there.
Yeah.
To be honest,
the thing with the drone as well, Tom, is everybody's always like, people that say like, oh, lads will throw stones at it and hit it all. Lads will take that down in a week. No, they won't, because it never comes within like 50 foot of the ground. It hovers way up there and drops it down on 50 foot of jute string. So the best of luck taking it down. If you had a rifle, yeah, but like I'm fairly certain they've done their sums and there's not many people going to be hanging out of their windows here in Blanchardstown popping caps at a drone.
Well, to counteract that, if anybody hears the mooing of a fucking cow in the background here, because my door is slightly ajar because I'm going to die of heat, it's just a cow, lads. It's not some newfangled thing that sounds like. Although there is a cow, right?
It's not cow delivery system.
That'd be amazing. Would they already have an inbuilt delivery system? What more do you want
Yes,
from
they
the
deliver
fuckers?
you another cow.
Or they deliver you milk. What else? There's a cow off in the distance. I don't know. And once in a while, she'll give a moo, and she sounds like the same. She has the same resonance as the sound of your phone vibrating on a wooden table.
Right.
So it's like, it's at the same tone and then the same fucking timing. And I'm like, two of us start looking around for our phones, going, "What? Oh."
I tried to record it the other day, but whatever it was that I had eaten, it gave me like an upset stomach, and there was gas and wind churning and churning and churning, but it kept making the noise of your man from Carry On.
Which one? Oh,
Yeah,
Freddie
exactly
Howard.
that. Exactly that.
Frankie Howard.
No, not Frankie Howard. The wee light fella. He was only a wee skinny fella.
Oh yeah,
Kenneth. Oh,
Kenneth Williams.
Kenneth
No,
Williams.
is it
Yeah,
Ken
you're
Williams?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
So
was an Irish
I'd be just
comedian.
sitting there
There was
watching
an
the
Irish
telly, and
comedian
then
on the scene for a while doing did a good impression of him.
well, yeah.
I don't care.
We might save that for the rows as well. But yeah, you'd be sitting there minding your own business watching TV, and then the stomach would just like,
So your
oh,
stomach got like 1970s camp. Is that?
yeah. I had a calm stomach. There you go.
Carry on bloating.
Well, any rate. Oh my God, Tom. Now we've mentioned the heat a couple of
I'm
times, so let's
sweating.
turn
I
the heat
swear to
up on
God,
this
I'm
podcast,
sweating.
buddy. It's we're rocking and rolling. Yeah, we're gonna be like going for the weigh-in after this, but we're gonna rock and roll anyway with the show. Heat be damned, because it is time, Tom, to talk about the big news of the week. We're talking about the brouhaha, the shenanigans, my friend. What we have come to call here on this show, the weekly what have you.
This is a very complicated case, Maud. You know, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous, and a lot of strands to keep in my head, man. You know.
This will come as no surprise to long-term listeners or people who even know me that, I'm gearing up. There's a certain time of the year I gear up for things. You're very good at gearing up for Christmas. You're a great man for gearing up for Christmas. You have giant Tupperware tubs with names written on it for lights and different things. He is Clark Griswold. You know what I mean? He's Clark Griswold, only more adept at actually putting up lights and stuff. If there's a Clark Griswold of summer barbecuing, I'd like to.
That's you, Tom.
Look, I see the professional guys. I'm like, I'm not those guys. They're unbelievable. But I like to think of myself as the ombudsman between your everyday Joe and Josephine who likes some charred food outside and those guys who have a 25 grand smoker,
well, yeah,
hanging off the back of their truck.
Those guys. And given that this is the Tom and Gerry show, and we can pretty much say or do whatever we want because our names are on the
label.
Our names are above the marquee there, my friend. We have declared this week to be the official start of Irish barbecue season. You may have smelled one or two in the air over the last couple of weeks when we had the good weather, but now it seems like the good weather is sticking.
It's that sticking good weather. So one old hot spot in early May, don't cut it. No.
And we got the June bank holiday coming up now, very short. Is it this weekend or the following weekend? Coming up real short.
Following weekend, yes.
Now is the time to get stuck into barbecue season. And Tom, given that I'm a novice and I only know about eating barbecue, I'm starting to think maybe I should get a barbecue.
You should get a
barbecue. I'm looking at me. I'm a man that likes meat. Are you kidding me?
I know you've had much of my meat, Gerry.
But what I need, Tom, I need to know how my meat can be like your meat, okay? So that when I eat it, it turns the noises my stomach makes from Kenneth Williams to Sid James.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. I did not see the turn happening where the show was going to turn into this.
No, that's the Tom and Gerry show for you. So, okay, Tom. Imagine I don't know nothing about barbecuing. Help me and, by proxy, the listeners of the Tom and Gerry show barbecue.
Well, this is the perfect week to start barbecuing because you've the June bank holiday weekend coming up, and you want, like anything, a bit of practice. Do you know what I mean? You can't be inviting people over and go, I'll give the barbecue. And I don't care if you have a barbecue already and you think yourself a barbecue king or queen every single year. Nah, 2 weeks prior even to the June bank holiday weekend, be getting on it. Be getting on it.
The July bank holiday weekend at this stage now, so. But
Yeah,
still in all, prepare.
like it is. It's so that you can mess it up. You can burn the shit out of it. You know what I mean? You can get your salmonellas out of the way. You wanna Now, I'm not gonna poo-poo gas people because I swear to God, anoraks ruin everything, Gerry. And as soon as I started paying attention and posting things about barbecuing, of course I had the whole barbecue brigade on board going, yeah. And Tom, those gas guys. I'm like, what are you talking about? If you just want to cook your food, man, that's all I can tell you. So it's up to you. The difference being is that gas, very little effort. Throw your bot.
That's like click, click, click.
Yeah, click. And it's basically your over the burner that you might have in the kitchen. It's the same thing. You're grilling, you're kind of toasting, you're not really charring, that kind of way. But
right. So in theory, I already have a gas barbecue in my kitchen. It's just not outside.
Here's the thing: your toaster is kind of a barbecue if you turn it on its side. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? At that stage, that's what you're dealing with. So let's gas. Fair enough.
This conversation is saving me hundreds of euros, Tom.
Hundreds and hundreds of euros. But look, I would say in the long run, and this is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people because we all get roped into the middle aisles of certain shops and whatnot, and there's things in front of us, or you end up in a home store or one of these things and you go, sure, look at it, €70. I guarantee you that'll be in the scrap heap. You'll be going to the tip come
burn
September.
The arse out of it.
Burn the arse out of it.
Right.
First drop of rain, it's going to rust. Get something that's, can take it. Yeah, can take it.
Right.
I'm not going to say brand names, but there's some American brands, Australian brands that are savage. And you got to be going over 200 quid. You gotta. I
mean, if anybody knows a good Barbie, it's the Australians, right?
They literally invented, I don't know, maybe they didn't. I think the Brazilians and probably the Argentinians are top of the pile on that. South Africans would have something to say.
I'm fairly sure cavemen invented toasting things over open flames.
I think you're probably right. There's
Neolithic lads there, just like.
And listen, here's the thing. If you're going, I'm not into cooking, I couldn't care less. Here's the thing. Do you like drinking?
I mean,
do you like drinking outdoors on your own premises, in your own comfortable gear, but can't find a purpose because the rest of the family might look at you oddly because you're just standing out there by yourself with your own thoughts? Because that's a glorious place to be. Is to stand outside with your own thoughts and a bottle of beer in your hand.
No lies detected here, Tom.
Now, you don't have an excuse to be out there, and you may look like, you're starting to lose the plot. But if you have a set of tongs in your hand, and you're feeding your family from outside, well, all of a sudden you've gone from 0 to hero for under 220 euros. Do you know what I mean?
Like every time you're talking to me, buddy, this is going up by €20. Okay, so we're going to buy a charcoal barbecue, right?
Charcoal barbecue, right? Personally, I have a Weber. It's an American brand, very old school. They have a long-standing. They give you a 10-year guarantee, which I like. They give you a 10-year guarantee for the entire thing.
Okay. Well, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Falls to ribbons. Oi, they go, we'll recondition it for you. Or do you want a new one? That's what they do.
Fair enough.
I got it as a wedding present to myself for 300 quid. Nice. Do you know what I mean? That was 6 years ago. The thing still looks exactly the same as it did. And I've cooked a lot of that thing. So we got a barbecue, right? We got a barbecue. Coals. You'll be tempted to get the cheap ass coals. Again, you're wasting your money. They won't get hot enough. Just get the slightly more expensive ones. You'll get them in the garden centre. Do you know what I mean? You'll see even the ranged of great ones now made out of coconut shells that will burn for 3 hours. So that's what you're at. Now you want to go for the basics. You want to get the basics right. Obviously your burgers, chicken.
Well, before we even get into food, Tom, I have a question for you because I actually asked some people on Twitter about barbecues.
Oh my God!
The community has opinions.
Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Next, you'll be on to cyclists.
Well, this is it. They told me to get like a charcoal chimney, which is like a doohickey for what am I doing? What am I doing here?
I could step outside. I mean, this is for the audio listeners. I could step outside and literally show you one. Mea culpa. I should have said that straight off the bat. This will speed up your life. This will buy you hours in your life. It's for all the world. It's a 6-inch to maybe 7-inch pipe, length of pipe about a foot long. Okay. And it's about inside that pipe about 4 inches up. There's just a mesh, just a wire mesh inside it. And what it allows you to do is you fill it with coals,
Yes.
and underneath it, then you can set little lighters, little lighters underneath it. And because it's in a tube, it just sucks air up crazy and gets those hot inside.
Right.
Yeah, inside a couple of minutes. If you're throwing all your coals in and just throwing the lighters in there, you may go off and watch the omnibus of EastEnders because it
Right.
won't be hot for about an hour and a half.
Okay.
This chimney allows you to just get these. Now you'll see there's loads of companies making like little hair dryers and everything that actually blow air on the coals to get them glowing
Yeah.
and stuff and all the rest. The lighters give me a pain in my pipe looking for them, the half decent ones, because obviously you can't just throw a zip underneath there because it'll get, yeah. They
It's
are
smelly.
Well, here's the thing. Very simple one. I think I did a video on this years ago. And bit of kitchen roll, maybe about 7 pieces of it, roll it around your hand and curl it up into it. So it makes a little cup of toilet,
Okay.
and pour maybe 2 teaspoons of cooking oil into the middle of it. Set that on fire. That works that'll burn for about 10 minutes, Jerry. It's a great fire lighter. I swear to God, it's a great fire lighter.
Every year at Christmas when we watch Home Alone, we see Kevin hang a thing on the door that goes mad hot, and when
Yeah.
Joe Pesci comes up, he puts his hand in it and burns it. And I never knew what the hell that thing was, but that's like a barbecue heating element.
Yeah.
I guess if you wanted, you can buy, and it will heat up and start your coals and ward off intruders as well. So
Exactly. Yeah, burn the hand off of.
yeah. I gotta
Joe
tell you,
Pesci.
if we had that in the house, my kids are industrious. If they even had a sense of a burglar outside, they'd hang it on the door and just melt the PVC door.
Do you leave your iron?
handle
Do you leave
of
your
the
iron
PVC
by a door
like-
just in case as well? Just leave the
Yeah.
iron, just so you can swing it. Yeah. So there.
Okay, so we're burning now. We're burning
Now
now.
you
Let's
need.
burn some meat.
I would
buddy.
advise people go. Well, what gear will I get? You'll buy these kits all over the place. You'll get these kits. Half of them you won't use. But you do need a decent metal spatula for flipping things, because some things will stick to your grills.
Okay.
I would suggest, right, this is no joke, I would suggest getting 3 sets of tongs. Always have 3 on the go for the uncooked shite and the cooked shite, and then the presentation shite. That's what you're doing.
Right. So you don't want to be handling raw chicken with the same
Yeah,
tongs
just
as
because
you're lifting burgers over on.
You just don't. You just don't. Like, but you'll always be glad you did. You'll be like, Grant, clean one now. I can just actually present in front of people with this thing.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? So I think
Okay, that works.
gear wise, that's pretty much you up and cooking. You're rolling. Like, I mean, I'm not going to push you down the lane of where I've ended up, because, I'm getting into meat thermometers that are ludicrously,
Right.
And all sorts. But that will get you up and rolling, right? Are you happy? You got all the gear, Ger?
Yeah. I need like a big sort of brush to clean the grills when all's said and done.
Any wire brush will be done, because with the great thing about the likes of the Weber crowd, again, I'm not pushing Weber, but they are very reasonable at buying replacement grates and stuff like that. And in the 6 years, I've only replaced it twice, and it was 50 quid or something. You know what I mean? It was easy. So now we're up in the gear, but now let's get into it. What everybody wanted to hear. What are you going to cook, Ger? What do you like? What do you like at a barbecue?
I like hot dogs.
Okay.
I'll eat burgers, but I my love
hear
affair
ya.
with the hamburger is waning, even from a burger place.
Do you know that's
So there's
it's
that.
very interesting you say that, because I am that way too. I'm waning from the burger, and I don't know what's done that, because just the thought of it isn't exciting anymore.
It's just a way. Yeah, I wouldn't sit down and order, but I do like chicken breasts. I like a good chicken breast cooked, and then maybe we might throw a wee bit of hot sauce on that, and we like so okay. So I'm cooking chicken breasts and lamb chops, and I'll eat anything, Tom. I'll eat anything. What do you got for me?
Well,
big sausages.
Okay, so
brisket.
So you're not having brisket, Jerry. That's a 12-hour affair, and we'll be talking till tomorrow on that. It's But here's the thing: if you want beef and you want it you want go traditional, right? You want to go traditional. You want to say, you know what? I want to look like I know how to barbecue, right?
Okay.
I'm not going to teach you how to suck an egg. You can cook a fucking sausage. You know what I mean? You can cook a burger.
You put it on it and it hisses until it turns.
Exactly. You can find the best. There's some great. Always make your own burgers if you can, because they do taste better. They do. Meatballs taste better. Burgers taste better. You can then gloat to people that come to your barbecue that you've made the burgers yourself. You can get the little patty makers and all the rest of it. The one trick that I've ever given anybody for the crack, when you're making a burger, right when you're about to start rolling it to a ball, have some frozen butter, right? This sounds crazy. Have some frozen butter, and then take the cheese grater, and the tiny little
yeah.
grate in just a little bit of butter into each one. but because it's frozen, it won't melt in your hands as you're rolling the burger.
Ah,
Yeah, that's
and
and
that's
that
a juicy
yeah,
burger.
a juicy burger. So if you've gotten, say, a lean Angus mince, which is, you're going to get Hereford or Angus if you have any respect for your friends and family coming,
Yes.
this will give it a nice little je ne sais quoi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't even have to tell them. You'll be like, "What you reckon?" They go, "Wow,
Well,
you see,
yeah. What's all that about?
how has he done it?" It's a cheeky little cheat, but butter goes with beef. Guess why? They're from yeah, they're from
Same,
this
yeah, the
same
same
neighborhood.
delivery system we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. Exactly. So you want to look like you know what you're doing. You want to show you're a barbecue king, queen, whatever you want to be. Very simplistic ones I got for you here, right? Get yourself down to your local butcher and get yourself some beef ribs or pork ribs, whichever you want. Don't go to the supermarket because they're all salted bacon ribs. The amount of lads have had messing me going, these are kind of. I said, did you read what the pack said? And I went, yeah, it's oh, it's bacon. So bacon has
Yeah.
already been infused with a brine. You don't. That's for boiling. Don't. No,
Don't.
don't.
Yeah.
That's for
But
having bacon and cabbage night during the winter. You know what I
right.
mean? What are you doing? You want to get to the boat and get purely pork. Start with pork because it's easy. Pork.
Yes.
Get him to pull off there's a little membrane on the inside. That's the number one thing.
Yeah,
You've
I've
got
seen
to
that.
get
There's
it.
like a little. Yeah.
It just doesn't cook down, right? And you'll ruin people's teeth. It's like, what am I doing with this? Just get it off. He'll rip it straight off for you. What do you want to do with that? Very simplistic. Here's a pure cheat. I've smoked him for 4, 5, 6 hours, Ger, and you're looking at bone exposure and all the rest of it. Here's the cheat. Here's the
All
cheat
right.
the old one taught me. Whatever barbecue sauce you've gone for, right?
Yes.
Make a load of it. It's really easy to make. Go look at a recipe. In fact, there's a recipe up on my page. Go look at. I'm literally look at you down the camera going, you should be ashamed of yourself. You can't put this together, kind of a scenario.
But like I used to make barbecue sauce with
Ketchup,
ketchup
brown
and
sugar.
Worcestershire sauce
Yeah, and brown sugar. That's
and
it.
brown sugar. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. That's it. And a little bit of apple cider vinegar. You know what I mean?
All right. Don't get fancy now.
I know. But you want to get a little, you got to, as much as you like as that, into some boiling water. Get it boiling. Put in some seasoning that you like with pork. You know what I mean? Say you want to put in a bit of paprika, a little bit, whatever you want to do it. I've seen people in 50-50 Coca-Cola, 50-50 water, Coca-Cola. Chuck your ribs into the pot. Boil them for an hour. The bones will expose themselves. Now take it out, damp it off, and butter it up or cover it in your favorite barbecue sauce, i.e. the one you made or the one you bought.
Yes.
And chuck it up in the grill jar. Tell nobody. Make out like you've smoked them for 4 or 5 hours.
Nice.
They will be tender as hell, and they're going to get that charred thing you're looking for. And they need to only be on the grill for 5-6 minutes.
Love it.
Simple as that, right?
Love it.
Boil the western thing in whatever you want. Something sweet. It's got to be sweet, goes with pork. Chicken wings, very simplistic. Get that barbecue as hot. Open all the vents, as hot as it can get. Your chicken wings, douse them in your favorite stuff. Chicken seasoning. How's that? Your chicken seasoning.
How about that?
Your favorite one. But here's the kicker that nobody knows, but they're about to learn. Put in a small. Now you can test this on and off, but never go too much. I would never do more with it. Like your standard packet of chicken wings, I would never do more than half a teaspoon, I beg your pardon, of baking soda. Choke it in. What that does is pulls all the fat out of the chicken and makes it go crispy on the outside.
Oh no.
Yeah. And that's the cheat nobody can ever get. They always go, why am I chicken wings slimy? It's because you didn't know the chemical trick. And
I gotta tell you.
Yeah, it was the...
That's a good one, Tom, because like, I do like a chicken wing myself, but I like a crispy chicken wing and not like battered and deep fried. Like I wouldn't give you tuppence for that really. But I do like a crispy chicken wing, but also a saucy chicken wing. Well, so it's like, well, what are you going to have? Are you going to have saucy or crispy? You can't have both.
Yes, you
Turns out you can.
Yes, you can. And here's how you're going to have both, right? So you get it up as hot as you can. I mean, 1,000,000 degrees, because these wings will cook regardless. You're not looking to cook through a big side of beef. You know what I mean? You're not.
Right. This is a chicken wing, for God's sake.
You're looking at probably about 25 to 30 minutes, right? Because you'll probably get it up to about 400 degrees. Turn them halfway. You'll see, geez, they're bubbling up all over the place. How are these chicken wings spitting so much stuff? It's because they're getting out all the slimy stuff.
Love it.
Then get them off. But while you're doing that, get ready. Whatever your favorite hot sauce / buffalo sauce, which if you want to go back a few episodes, we mentioned a few.
Yes, frankly amazing hot sauce.
Take a bottle of that. Take a bottle of that and a 1/4 pound of butter. Put the two of them together in a pot. Whisk them. That's your hot sauce.
That's your hot sauce.
That's your hot sauce.
It seems add butter is the key to a lot of this, Tom.
Butter and sugar, I hate to tell you, Ger, it's,
That's how you make things good.
That's how you make things good. Dip your chicken wings in that real quick, or a little bit of it, just enough, and then get them back on the grill to keep the crispiness, and give the rest to the people that want to dip. But they've got that crispy buffalo flavor. And anything after that, I'm not telling you how to cook sausages. I'm not telling you how to cook burgers. I'm not telling you those two. If you can do your chicken wings like that and your ribs like that, people will go, this person knows their shit. I'm telling you now. We're coming back here. One hot tip for anybody. This is, I don't care whether it's gas or coals. Here's a class tip. You'll find all sorts of fancy sprays for anti-stick, all this.
Yeah.
The best one of the whole lot, just prior to you cooking, and you've given it a bit of a rub down with the wire brush or whatever, and you're ready, and you think, oh, that looks clean, but I could wish it would, just stuff wouldn't stick to it. Cut you a half an onion, right?
Yeah.
I
thought you were going to come with another stick of butter here.
No, I would if I could, but
yes.
Jam a fork into the back end of it that still has the skin on. Chop it with the skin on, like.
Yeah.
And the raw side that's got all the juiciness thrown out, rub it back and forth in that grill as many times as you like.
And the onioniness.
It's not only the onioniness actually burns off, but it's an antioxidant, so it kills anything that's on that bacteria wise, and it's anti-stick for anything you throw up on it.
Well, them things really do have layers, don't they?
They're the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah. So that's you. After that, I guarantee if you pull off that move, you'll have enough of an ego serotonin boost from everybody high-fiving you that you will go and YouTube the rest of your barbecue life. You know what I mean? Go do that. You'll be into it then. Because it's all about the payoff. If you get the payoff right and people go, oh my God, I love this. And the serotonin kicks in, you're like, or the dopamine or whatever it is that you're looking for, you go, Jesus Christ, they love me. I think I'm the new barbecue guy in the neighborhood. Well, those two things will get you off the races. I will never answer a question on side dishes. Get out of my face. You can literally make them or buy them ready-made. Get yourself together. Don't get your life together if you can't. If you're asking me about side dishes, I don't want to know.
You're a meat turning man.
What? Look, leave them for the people that are interested in that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Leave that to your guests. Tell your guests to bring the sides.
Now let me bring this to a close, Tom. That if we're declaring the second to third week of May, start of early June, as the official start of barbecue season, when is the end of barbecue season?
You see, it's
got to be into August. You got to have that 4th of July into August.
Oh God, you do. And I mean, you don't.
The children are going back to school early September. You better have a barbecue there as well, right?
You don't want. You
normally get the good weather.
Yeah, you don't want to be this side guy, still cooking barbecues at Christmas, because that's me. That's what my addiction is at, Gerry. And you maybe don't want to end up down there. You know what I mean? You may not have an understanding wife or husband. Or maybe you do have somebody who doesn't want you outside the house cooking and smelling like, God knows what. But look, this is me being from a selfish point of view. Every single year, my birthday is September 21st. Every single year, it's always been decent enough weather. Where a fella could wear a hoodie and be grand outside. Do you know?
Right.
So that's where I'm thinking. I think we wrap it up the 2nd to 3rd week of September. Because you are down now, the leaves are starting to come down out of the trees. You're kind of going, it might be time to throw a cover on this thing.
Right. Well, that gives the fine listeners of the Tom and Gerry Show 16 weeks of barbecue and goodness, and we want to hear all about it. All right. Now, I'm taking Tom's word for a lot of these things, as I do with a lot of these things. Do you agree or disagree with him? Hey, don't get on my case about it. Let's get them in the comments and see what's going on here. Any of you gas hoodlums out there, you gas guzzlers, you're all about the guzzling. You let us know about it. But other than that, Tom, thank you very much. I swear to God, I said it before and I'll say it again. I should have done home economics quicker than I did carpentry and quicker than I did metalwork at school. I think a month of home economics. You think the good that'd do me?
You think? Yeah, I think. But
you probably like I'd know to add baking soda to chicken wings, I would imagine.
I'd say that's
what am I going to do with a dovetail joint?
I'd say it's the first, second week of home economics. I'd imagine is barbecuing. I can't see it going any other way.
No,
I can't.
No.
I can't.
I swear to God, any time I find myself saying, even just like running the house and one thing and another. Oh God, they didn't even try to teach us this at school. Yeah, they did. You just weren't doing it because you were over here filing metal for no good goddamn
Yeah,
reason.
there was a lot of
Jeez.
filing metal. There was a lot of filing of metal.
Any rate, we're going to move on the show. Thank you much again for that, my good man. We're going to move on the show by bringing in a very special person, Tom. Someone very, very special. You know the kind of person I'm talking about? The kind of
You
person that
mean,
when you're discussing them, oh, we're
yeah,
not going to bring anybody. No, this is the Tom and Jerry show. This is we're not going to physically bring a third person into it.
no,
Well,
but
maybe down the line, but not now.
when you're talking about that kind of person, you know, you can. Some would say a bloke, you know, some would say, but realistically, if you want to properly throw your hands at this scenario, you don't say, you know, this lad. You say,
This lad.
Now there's that guy.
and this week's,
I'd
yeah,
never heard of this week's this lad.
He-
Is I'd never heard his name written down, and when I seen him, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of get him. He's a guy called Giles Brandreth, and he's an aged man. He's a UK celebrity. I'd never say he said he was on Good Morning Britain. I'm not a fan. And he presents bits and pieces on This Morning. Again, don't really know him all that much, but he's one of these guys. He's of the old British entertainment kind of industry, and I believe like a Tory MP at some stage along
he
the
was
way.
conservative, yeah.
Yeah.
He was conservative, so he was Tory, yes, yeah. For Chester, which would be, I don't know,
It would be pretty Tory.
yeah,
I think it would be hard to win a seat for the Green Party there. So Giles Brandreth came under our crosshairs this week, Tom, because he claims and did claim this week on John Cleese's podcast. John Cleese is a podcast. I swear to God, Tom.
It's unbelievable. Like,
We've opened the floodgates. I
well,
swear to God.
let's just say John Cleese presents a podcast. John Cleese has nothing to do with
I know.
the business that is the podcast, but it's John Cleese on there.
He puts his
yeah.
name to it and he gets a cut.
Yeah.
And he gives that directly to one of his ex-wives.
Yeah.
Giles Brandreth claimed on that podcast that he is responsible for the death of Rod Hull.
What a you like when I saw it and it was like, whoa, okay, this guy is clearly going to be arrested. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yes.
this is Rod Hull.
This
For
is
the-
Rod Hull.
Anybody wondering who Rod Hull was?
Yeah, there's
we
layers
need-
to this one. This is like
we
your
probably
onions
need to
as well.
explain Rod Hull if people are kind of going, I've heard of what?
And his impact on our lives and
Yeah.
subsequent, well, spoiler alert, subsequent death may or may not have been at the hands of Giles Brandreth. But go on ahead, Tom. Who is Rod Hull?
So Rod Hull, he was a comedy act. He was a comedian, but famously he was a strange looking bloke. You know what I mean? He had those giant
Yes.
teeth and all the rest. But it was his partner in crime that really set him off and allowed him basically to be outlandish on any TV show he was ever on. And it was this really shite puppet on his hands. It was really shit. Emu. Like I've always
Rod Hull and Emu.
like, I mean, we've all felt sorry if, you know, you look at the comic who's had to drag his cello around because it's this part of his thing. Like, but I mean, I couldn't have sat in a green room with a bloke who was just going, so yeah, anyway, Jesus, there's a great gig I was doing the other night. And sorry, mine, that's my bag there with my fucking emu in it. Like,
Right?
But I have massive respect for Rod Hull. Like,
If you see, here's the thing, Tom. We came up in a time when Rod Hull had had several TV shows. We'll get into them in a second. But the gimmick was that he had an emu with him, Rod Hull and Emu. Where you saw one, you saw the other.
yeah.
And as you say, Rod Hull is this Willy Wonka looking, gangly looking, just like dude. They don't make him like they used to. Okay.
If you think
Like-
if people can't put a face to it, if you think of what Frank Spencer used to look like, he'd kind of
Right.
that look, didn't he? Like
Kind
that.
of wild-eyed, and he had his buddy Emu, which was his pet emu. It was a big blue and orange puppet. And what Rod Hull would do he would control the puppet, as you would imagine. Spoiler alert, it's not a real bird. He'd put his hand up in it, would control the animal's beak. But then there was like a fake arm draped over Emu, so at a glance it looked like he was carrying him.
That was a quick glance, Jerry. I can tell you that much because
Yes.
emu didn't even look like an emu.
No.
I mean, do you know it was
And-
like back in the 1800s? So like if somebody brought out like a picture of a tiger, like or any strange animal.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
It's a platypus. And what do you call it? Well, I should bloody think it's a it's an elephant, of course, isn't it, Montgomery? You're like, well, of course it's an elephant, pretending like you'd seen an elephant. Whoever named that puppet clearly had never seen
Had never seen an emu
No.
in their life. So what? Emu was mute. It didn't talk. So it wasn't a ventriloquist act like Orville or one of these guys. God, we couldn't move in the 80s for puppet boards, to be honest with you. Emu wouldn't talk. What Rod Hull would do is he would go up to celebrities with Emu and he would sock them right in the face. He'd hit them
Yeah.
in the mouth as hard as he could legally do so. And then he'd start shouting at Emu, no, Emu, don't grab him, don't grab him. And he'd be just like smacking them.
Yeah.
Like giving them overhand rights to the jugular. It was Michael Parkinson, I want to say. There's a famous
he
clip that
attacked
showed up
Parkinson.
Yeah, he dragged Parkinson to the ground. And is there like if you can imagine, he has his hand, which is of course Emu's beak, so it looks like Emu is biting Michael Parkinson on the neck. But in actual fact, if you look at the mechanics of that,
choking out Yorkshire's favorite son, David Parkinson. Jesus,
absolutely.
Because I remember seeing like the clips from that, and I think it was Billy Connolly on that one as well. And even Connolly was kind of, hey, whoa, I respect
this
you
is
as an
beyond
act,
the pale.
but like, come on now, come
but
on.
it was spectacular physical comedy. There's another clip of Emu. It's Rod Hull. He's out and about in Tesco or where not.
Probably in Hull.
And in Hull. So he's in Tesco in Hull in the shopping centre, and they're at like a chest freezer, and he's like, oh, Emu, I have to get fish fingers or what have you. And Emu grabs Rod by the throat and throws him into the chest freezer and then slams the door shut with him on the chest freezer, which, knowing what we know, that this is Rod Hull doing this all himself, he literally fight clubs himself. He literally like drags himself along the ground and he choke slams himself. He gives himself a choke slam into the freezer and slams it shut. And this was Rod Hull was big noise in the 70s and the 80s and into the 90s. He had a TV show, Tom. I don't know if you ever watched it. It was the 80s. They did things different. It was called Emu's All Live Pink Windmill Show, which,
yeah,
if you've seen a sign on the street for Emu's All Live Pink Windmill Show today, you'd be like, okay, well, I guess that's where a stag party or a hen party
are going, because
they
did that.
You want to see the pink windmill?
They just still do it nowadays. You find it in but Jesus, back in the 80s they didn't care. They just came out with whatever they wanted. They didn't care.
So, but that it was big news, and here we bring it to a close. Rod Hull died at the age of 63, Tom, in 1999. Now, he hadn't been on TV for a while. But then
he was definitely still on the road because
he was probably touring. He'd fallen out of, certainly, if not the public consciousness, certainly mine, because I was like 19
but
or 20, I wasn't watching out for Rod Hull on the telly.
What the British are like for nostalgia. Like, they were rocking. I remember Darragh O'Brien was reading his book, and he toured kind of nearly behind Hull at all these venues. Yeah. He was maybe a day or two behind him. And he was packing out these places. He was like, I was amazed because I was on Mock the Week at the time. And this guy, I just thought he was, like everybody, but he was packing these places. And what he was doing 2.5 hour shows every night, 2.5 hour shows. He just couldn't fathom how the man was doing it. But anyway, onwards.
But at any rate, on we go. So, Rod Hull died. Here's the thing. He died in a manner that informed public behavior going forward.
Yeah. It was actually, there was a PSA really in what he did. Like, wasn't there? Like,
exactly. Yeah. If you've ever seen any of the PSAs from our youth where it's like, "Oi, Jimmy, my frisbee's going up the pylon. I'll climb up and get it," and then like he fries to death, and it's like, "Don't let your children climb pylons." Like, Rod Hull did one of those in real life.
Yeah, for reals.
Reals.
The only thing is, the only way this could have been made, I guess he did have the last laugh, and we'll talk about his funeral in a minute, but the only way this could have been more Rod Hull would have been if Emu went up to the ladder. If Emu had been,
and I gotta tell you, Tom, like, I can't form a picture of it in my mind where Emu's not with him.
Yeah. He's up there
But-
like, can you imagine Emu, like he's trying to swing out of the air and Emu's looking at him going, are you for serious? Are you for serious right now? This is just bullshit.
We'll bring people up to speed. What happened with Rod Hull was he was watching the UEFA Cup or the
Right.
Champions League final,
Yeah.
whatever it was. It was a big final, a big European Cup final or whatnot. And he had bad reception and couldn't see the TV. So he went outside and climbed up a ladder in the middle of a thunderstorm to fix his aerial. A gust of wind came and knocked him off his ladder, off his roof. He fell 2 stories and died later that night in the hospital as a result of his injuries. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only person in the world now that anytime I go up a ladder to do anything, my wife will tell me, be careful, don't do a Rod Hull.
And all of a sudden your hand starts talking to her, like, just
right. Like when I'm putting up you say Christmas, when I put up the Christmas lights at Christmas, if it's, Christmas is not good weather, it's normally quite windy or like not as dry as it possibly could be.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that looks like Rod Hull weather out there. I don't want you going up a ladder. So that's what happened to Rod Hull.
But why now does Giles?
You actually, sorry, Tom, you had a story about his funeral there. Let's hear that. I don't.
So
think I know the story.
yeah. So this is where this is to add a bit of, I suppose, a bit of lightness to the whole thing. This is a pre-planned move in his will.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as the coffin was being brought into the church, which is a better place to do it altogether than, because it's nice echoey and stuff like that. Yeah, she had the sound effect play from inside the coffin of a beak cracking off the inside of the coffin, which is absolutely brilliant. Brilliant.
I mean, leave him laughing, right?
Oh God, I love it. I've heard of a few, and I'd love to do something like, I mean, Spike Milligan on his gravestone famously has the words, "I told you I was sick."
The best one of those I know is Jack Lemon's tombstone.
Go on.
Just reads Jack Lemmon in.
Ah, brilliant. Brilliant. Brilliant.
So Rod Hull is now dead. 1999, so it's 25 years later. And nobody questioned that, Tom, right?
No. He fell off the roof. It was actually confirmed by the police as an accidental death until, of course, his former Good Morning Britain.
Yes, and step forward this lad, Giles Brandreth, who claimed on the John Cleese show to have killed a man. A hell of a thing to just blurt out in the middle of a podcast, Tom.
I mean,
you're not getting that out of me in the Tom and Jerry show. I'll tell you that.
It's a good way of getting your own podcast if you just want to. You know what I mean?
It's a good way to incite follow-up questions. I will say that. Yes.
Hence, what's found us here right now talking about this guy that I would have never have dreamt of till the day I die. Otherwise,
and if this is true, God love him, right?
Yeah, it would play on your mind a small bit, because was it the two of them were at the theatre tonight
they were at a show. They were at a theatre in Hull, or where not? No, sorry. Rod Hull is a man. They were not in Hull. Giles Brandreth was not in Hull. Don't write that down.
Whoa.
But they were doing some theatre show or some such, and Giles Brandreth was there chatting away, and Rod Hull was, by all accounts, real sad sack day. He was giving out that he wasn't going to be able to watch his show later on because his Sky wasn't working properly.
He was cribbing about this while in the audience watching the show. It's to the point that he was nearly interrupting the performance.
Yeah, exactly. And he's there saying, "Oh, geez, you know what? I'd love to go home. I can't wait to get out of here. I hate this show. Darrow Breen's on next."
Yeah.
But he's cribbing and giving out about the show, and he wanted to go home and watch the football. But he seems to have been like one of these. Did you ever fall across a boy that you can't help?
Yeah.
But
also, when you come across a fella where you're like, man, time and a place. We're in the middle of a show here. We'll talk about this on the drive home. Like, what are you?
It's like, Jeez. But he's giving out that the show is no good and not holding his interest. He'd rather be at home watching the football. But even if he does leave to go home and watch the football, his aerial's not working. Well, what do you want me to do for you all? At that stage now, he's owed a bit of a ahwished, right?
Yeah. 100%.
So that's what Giles Brandreth gave him. He says, look, it's real simple, Rod. Go home, get your ladder, go up, tweak around with the aerial, and get a picture, and watch your football.
Yeah.
And I dare say in Giles' mind, he was saying, don't be fucking giving out to me about it.
Yeah. Now we're done with that now. On with the show. Like,
come on, I have to watch this.
100%. And I mean, true I mean, I've given you loads of advice down through the years, and I would dare say you haven't followed 1 millisecond of it.
Not much of it, Tom.
No,
No.
no, and I don't expect you to do. A lot of it is off the
I'm gonna go
top.
down. I'm gonna go down to the shop and buy a burger.
Yeah, of course you are. And do you know what? I'm totally okay with that.
But what we want to do here now for Giles Brandreth is we're gonna have like a mini trial for him. Do we find him guilty? I mean, what would he even be guilty of here, Tom? In incitement to manslaughter?
It's well, I mean, who manslaughtered him? The wind?
Who manslaughtered who?
I mean, I mean, if I'm acting on behalf of the man, all I can say is that he gave some advice. Now, did he clarify in what weather conditions to go up there? No. Did he mention health and safety? PPE gear? No, he didn't mention any of
No.
that. But
Rod Hull was a grown man, we must say. So you shouldn't have had to tell him to check the ground was sturdy enough to take a ladder.
yeah, yeah. I'm assuming he was probably up at the area. I'd say he got right up to the area.
Oh yeah.
Like you'd survive a 2-story. You'd break your legs, like, but you're coming down.
He's in his 60s at this stage.
And sometimes the British, I find, age very badly. Have I ever told you
Well,
that? Do you know, you'd often meet a person 61 or 62 from Britain that I found, and they've just decided I'm old now, and they just start perming their hair and wearing cardigans and stuff. You're like, you're not that old. Like, I know 61-year-olds that are still rocking it. Like, just
do you know what that is, Tom?
Antiques Roadshow.
No.
Go on.
That's what it is to have hate in your heart.
It's true. It's true. I am a staunch Republican. There's no doubt about it. This podcast is taking a weird turn.
Well, listen here. Like the Giles Brandreth thing is really like if someone was annoying you, Tom, if someone was pissing you off, and you're like, "Oh, I wish you just dropped dead."
Yeah.
And then they drop dead. Are you responsible for that death? Is that a notch on your gun belt?
That one, nose to nose, yeah, to a degree. Morally, yes. Factually, no, not at all. Because you can't talk somebody.
Okay, I'm going to give you a bit of advice. You won't take it because you're sensible, but I'll tell you advice that I've told people beforehand.
Yeah.
If they're drilling for hanging shelves or anything like this, and they're like, "Oh, I'll go up and I'll buy a stud detector because I want to make sure I'm not drilling into a gas pipe," and I'm like, your house is not this riddled, complicated nervous system of gas pipes. Do you know, like, if you're not hanging something directly over
a switch or a socket,
or a socket, you're probably all right. It's not like this network of cables and death traps. So you're going to be grand. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Now, is it on me if they do hit a pipe?
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, the decision to drill it without a stud finder was theirs, not mine. I gave my opinion on it. I did not give an order.
Right enough. And there you go. There you go.
That's
now,
it.
Here's the thing, that's fair enough. But did Giles give an order? Or was it a throwaway? Well, do you know what it's very, very careful how he worded it.
Yeah.
Did he say, yeah, well, do you know what you should do? You should go home now. And if it'll shut you up, get up on the roof and sort it out yourself. Or did he say, hey, Rod, you know what you got to do, don't you? You got to go home. You got to get out your ladder, get up there and change that area to sort this out. That's two different things. One's advice and one's
Or did he turn
order.
around and go like, real sarky, like, sounds like a job for Mr. Ladder if you ask me, Rod.
Yeah. I mean, look, Ger, whatever way you look at it, I think he did kill him. I'm just going to come straight off the fence. I don't see many ways. He did kill him, but it's in those one of very strange ways. Almost like a double jeopardy scenario, like where you just can't do him for it. You can't do him.
You can't do them. You can't hold it. And like, how will I say this, Tom? It's his word against his word. Like he's the only person saying this.
Yeah, unless anybody else heard him that night in the whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
In the theatre. Now, how do you feel about it? Do you think he's guilty?
I don't know, and I honestly don't know why he wouldn't have taken this to his grave, which can't be all that far away, with the best of respects.
I think because he was in front of John Cleese, and John Cleese is a reverend bastard at the best of times. You know what I mean? He comes out with somewhere, you know.
You know what? I think it would behoove us, Tom, to investigate this a little further. But regardless of which, Giles Brandreth, you get away with it for now.
We've got an eye on you.
This is Ireland. We'll give you a suspended sentence.
He's exactly. He's somewhat. He's fairly. He's a fairly. He's kind of cursed a small bit too because he doubled down on this. Did you hear that? He doubled down on it.
No, what do you do?
He was going on and he had this chat and all the rest of it. And he said, I also killed another man, I think. And he's like, Jesus Christ. He says, yeah. He says, back when I was Conservative MP for the city of Chester, he says, I killed Harry Secombe. He was one of the goons. He would have been in with
one
Spike
of Milligan's
Milligan.
lads.
Yeah.
How did he kill him?
Yeah, well, he came off the phone with him. It was a phone interview. Now this is
All right.
this is now there's a bit of a stretch in this.
Hang on, I get my pinch of salt over here. I'm going.
Yeah. He came off the phone with him, and the actor slipped and fell backwards down the stairs and died. And he was, unless he said something really funny closing the call,
Yeah.
But I think he probably got the response he wanted out of Cleese at that stage.
I'll give you one, Tom. Now, this didn't happen, but it always played in my mind. It was one of these like things that were such a near miss that I was like, God damn, like my heart stopped. I had a pal, and they were a big laugher. Okay. So they were a real sort of theatrical, throw your head forward kind of a laugh kind of a thing, right? You know it. And not for nothing, Tom. We're funny people. Like, we'd be cracking wise, all this kind of thing.
I'm happy for them to be laughing like that.
I'm happy for them to be laughing at that. But we were in the pub and they threw their head forward like a big theatrical laugh, and missed a pint glass by a quarter of an inch. So they nearly smashed their face down into a pint glass. I'll never forget it. My heart stopped. I was like, God damn, you were millimeters away from smacking that thing. Now, if they had hit that, would I be able to turn around and say, I glassed my friend?
Yeah. If it makes you sound hard, I think so, yeah.
It would make me sound like...
That's some supernatural powers that you made somebody laugh so much that they...
that's my X-Men power, I'd be like...
Yeah, they maimed themselves.
Hey, you over there, you want to hear some yucks and smash yourself in the face? Who is guilty in all this? Let us know in the comments. Should Giles Brandreth ever be allowed on a podcast again? Not this one, anyway. One and done with the Tom and Gerry show, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he's in his late 70s as a British man. He's not got long for this world.
No, he's all right. No. And as for one and done, Tom, we are one and done with this week's episode. Boom, my man. 2 segments and we outie.
Nearly, Gerry. But if I was to do this, how does that make you feel? Huh?
I gotta we gotta get into this segment real quick, Tom, because I know we like to do a little pantomime with this segment every week. We gotta get into it real quick.
For the audio listeners right now, we
gotta start a row. Let's start a row.
Start a row.
My attitude is don't start nothing. Won't be nothing.
I am wearing a flat cap, which I am proud of. I'm very proud of. It was given to me by a late family member. Very, very proud of this hat. In that, I think it looks cool on me, Ger.
Yes.
Until,
yes.
Look over your left shoulder. Look at one of our heroes.
Flat cap wearing man of the people, Fred Dibnah.
Oh, after out with the yeah.
Now, but Tom, I'm not going to come to you and start a row about flat caps, because that flat cap that you're wearing, and I understand it has sentimental value to you, but regardless of whether it does or doesn't, I'm sure you have other non-sentimental flat caps. I have 3 flat caps.
I think I've got 3 of them. I think I've got 3 of them. Yeah.
The tweed in nature flat cap, a culture cap, an owl man cap, if you will, Tom.
It has made it into city life. I think a lot of people, city life, they'd like to wear the tweed jacket and pretend that they're of the country set. You know what I mean? And they drive a brand new Range Rover or Defender or whatever just to feel.
Herein lies my contention, Tom. I put it to you now in a row-starting manner that flat caps have been ruined by several things. And now an ordinary, decent culture like you or I cannot wear a flat cap without looking
like a ball bag. Unfortunately.
Like a ball bag.
Yeah, it is. No, I think we're starting to probably looking to start a row, because I'd say the 2 of us are probably in on this because something has been taken from us.
Something has been stolen from us, Tom. Yes.
Yeah, and Whether it be cultural appropriation, I don't know on our behalf, but it is a iconic culture thing to
Yeah.
have is your flat cap.
You know, and like, you know, it's
It's a
I don't know
hard
if you
blue
want.
collar thing to be wearing. Like it's a
Yeah,
blue
it's a
collar thing.
bit, and it's a bit Healy Ray, no harm, like, you know, but at the same time, they're cultures. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
I think we can at least agree that they are cultures.
yeah, but there's been a few points of popular culture down through the years where they have been appropriated, the flat cap,
Very much.
and one that sticks out more than others. And again, I can never buy the hype on a thing, and
Yeah.
I just can't buy the hype. And do you know what? It turns me 180 degrees when I see other people getting so into a thing. I'm like, oh, you ruined it. You
You're
ruined
around
it.
it.
You ruined it.
I know what you're gonna say,
Peaky Blinders
right?
absolutely ruined our beloved flat cap. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying, do you know what? I'll go so far as to say Cillian Murphy's an actor, the rest of them are actors. It was probably a hat of the time from the early part of the
Well, the
1900s.
Peaky in Peaky Blinders is a peaked cap.
But it is the ballbaggery of
Yeah.
the humans that end up trying to emulate Cillian
Yes.
Murphy.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
it was a short jump from the Peaky Blinders audience to flat caps showing up in Magaluf, aka Shagaluf,
oh Jesus, exactly.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and now it's, and then from there a short jump to McGregor and the UFC
yeah.
matches,
There you go.
and
Yeah.
all of a sudden we've lost flat caps, we've lost tweed waistcoats. Like, what's next, Tom? Blackthorn sticks. What are we losing
Oh,
next?
for God's sake. Well, you know what? I'm so glad that they took to all wearing hunter wellies because there isn't one single true country person will wear actual hunter wellies because they're a load of shite.
Yeah.
Get yourself a pair of Dunlops. Or if you want to go ultra like me, I wear Muckmasters and Muckmasters only. Have done for 20 years. But the, yeah, there was a solid trajectory of going nowhere working class people who needed a cap that was both uh, utilitarian, could be rolled up, put in your pocket, you
Yeah,
know,
wear it mass.
could chuck it in the washing machine. You know, it needed to do all these things, keep the head warm, but you could listen out for, heavy machinery possibly going to swipe you in the
Oh
side of the
yeah,
head.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
There,
ele-
if there was a man with an emu anywhere near it, you knew he was coming for you.
like, I can tell you one celebrity that wouldn't have been caught by that emu. The man, the myth, the legend, Fred Dibnah. He wouldn't. He would have
Who?
absolutely broken his arm/neck before it even got within a fist distance of that man's face because he heard what was coming via
Because
his
he was wearing.
flat cap and nothing down over his ears, but the sun was out of his eyes and rain was trickling down off the sides with the inbuilt guttering that's on it. But yeah, it wasn't, to be fair, there was an appropriation of our culture a while back too, and I don't know who thought it was a good idea, but it was probably flagshipped by, I'm sure he's a nice man, but he's done some knobbery things in society and he's at the butt of so many jokes, even for a very talented man. But by God, he did. If I just do this, Gerry, if I put it the other way around and I say, no matter what they tell you, whenever they attack. Yeah.
Yeah, the
You remember
backwards
that?
patty
You
cap,
remember that shit that went
like,
down? Like the insult to my ancestors. You doing that, putting it on backwards and singing with it on. Oh,
it's even just as you like Tom, we get along. I love recording with you every week, and when you put on that cap, just like a fire raised up in me. You heard it. You listen back to the audio. The minute you people weren't
I
watching, like
closed
I'm
my
watching on
eyes
video.
just to be more aware of. I could hear your heartbeat coming up. I could hear there was a grumble in your voice.
Yeah.
Your stomach had gone from to.
And all I was like, all right, here comes a lad with opinions that I'm going to have to fucking suffer through. It was just that instant. It was just that immediate. We're going to put a side by side comparison, like Tom with and without. I'll try and dig mine out here. I don't know where it is. It won't go on me with the ponytail, which I suppose is
It's
a matter of
100%.
concern in its own right, Tom.
They're 100%. 100%.
We're not
The hat
talking
wins. The
about
hat
my
wins
ponytail.
in that fight, Gerry. The hat wins in that fight. But they have been ruined. You cannot put one on now
I
without.
think we can agree on that.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I would have to, and this is really insecure of me. if I was at a hunt meet or if I was at something, which I don't get to go to an awful lot of, with the Harriers and stuff like that, you'd see lads sometimes with them on. I'd probably keep mine in my pocket until I meet a couple of lads who are already wearing them in their correct environment. That's how self-conscious now I've become of something. Isn't that terrible that our culture has been stripped back so much by these fucking imposters?
I reckon. I reckon if you're at the hunt, Tom, you've bigger fights to fight.
Listen, country sports are for country people, Jerry, and I will not take a backward step on it. They
That's
will
a
not
route
be
for
they will
another
not
day.
be
That's a
dictated to
route for
by
another day.
people in Leinster House. So that's all I know. Anyway, but that's for another day.
That's a scrap for another day. Folks, do you wear a flat cap? Are you wearing a flat cap right now? You got your earpods in and your flat cap on,
no.
you're going to town?
No.
Like, we
Never.
want to know your opinions on it. And if you don't give us your opinions, we will wrestle them out of you. I swear to God. I swear, we went from looking
don't
like,
leave us as an echo chamber here all by ourselves, because then it becomes unhealthy. It's just two dudes having a good time telling each other what they want to hear.
We went from looking like ordinary, decent culchies with our flat caps on to all of a sudden it's like, all right, is the Guy Ritchie movie in town?
I'm just gonna do this again. No matter what they hear. No, people, you have to see Jerry's face. He's just through gritted teeth. He is furious. He's absolutely furious.
I've no idea where this came from, but there was a time in the late 90s, early 2000s, and where I would have seen it, there was a guy in the wrestling would wear one. He would wear like a backwards black leather.
Was he the massive guy?
Yeah, big guy, Triple H. And I'm like, where did you get
he have one as well? Because there was a leather one. There was a there was
a backwards black leather.
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And luckily that didn't live past 9/11, Tom. That was gone by then.
Do you know who else could should be actually taken up in
I'm not saying one was related.
The Court of Human Rights, or the Court of Cultural Rights, I should say. Kangol had a lot. They had an absolute scandal.
Yes.
They had a walking scandal on their hands for. I mean, gee, why didn't you just take the headdress of Sitting Bull and just go ahead and put a Kangol yoke on that and put it the other way around?
The Kangol, maybe that's the cap I'm thinking of. But regardless of which, today,
it was disgusting.
In the year of our Lord 2024, the flat cap has. Yeah. Let us know your opinions on it. We've given you ours. And if you do want to let us know your opinions on it, you're going to need to find us. And you'll find us on social media at Tom and Gerry Show on Twitter and indeed Instagram. And you'll find me and Tom not far behind. What else can they do for us, Tom?
Whatever platform you're listening to right now, if you just tuned in, what if the tuning is still a thing? Do please hit subscribe on whatever platform you're on. I had somebody message me the other day and they're still on Apple, so things are kind of slow to probably arrive to Apple. I can only apologize for that. There's nothing I can do about it. But you can leave comments on Apple and you can rate as well. So same as Spotify, same as a lot of them now, you can actually rate. Give it the top rating so it becomes more visible to other people. Follow us, as Gerry was said. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, maybe a screen grab, throwing it out there on your socials, letting us know exactly your opinion on it. So when we post this on the Thursday and you've listened to it, go back in and just go, hey, whoa. I feel this strongly about such and such. Or I have this advice about chicken wings, or maybe you should put a chicken wing in, serve them in a flat cap through your emo hand. Your well, yeah. So whatever your opinions are, please. Twitter is great. Instagram is great. Put your comments underneath that, and at least that way, Gerry, or myself, will see and be able to reply to them.
Yes.
Bring them forward onto the next one. So
no, that's it, Tom. I'm gonna go barbecue in a flat cap while
I'm gonna go roll around with that vibrating cow out in the field there, if that's all right.
Hope that no drones are coming. Show up. The hunter killers are closing in. Right. That's it. Good luck.
Good luck.
Tom and Gerry Show is sponsored by findavenue.ie.
For over 10 years, findavenue.ie has been working in the Dublin area, helping thousands of companies with all their venue needs. From corporate parties to away days, training seminars, conferences, summer barbecues to Christmas parties. The lot.
As a pair of comedians who know what it's like when the wrong venue gets booked for the wrong occasion, we can assure you that findavenue.ie is the go-to service when you're looking for a venue for your upcoming event. Simply contact them at findavenue.ie and they'll do the rest, saving you precious time and hassle.
Best of all, findavenue.ie is absolutely free to use.
Get out of here.
I'm telling you now, with findavenue.ie, free means free. No hidden costs or sneaky charges, all backed up with an incredible team offering you great customer service throughout the whole process. If you need a venue for anything from corporate day out to a quiz night, a gala dinner, or even a virtual event, findavenue.ie is your one-stop shop for all.
Head over to findavenue.ie to see how they can help you with your next event.
Thanks again to this week's sponsor for the Tom and Gerry Show, findavenue.ie.